Happy Sunday, Collective. How are we doing? Are you being strong warriors of the spirit? So, tu as la skis la montagna avec moi. That's the only French I know. It means, will you ski the mountain with me? Spirit wanted to ask you to put yourself in a position of being in a foreign country and not knowing the language, and how vulnerable that would make you feel. Because Spirit says that there's a lot of people out there right now in the collective that might feel that with their story or with their situation. I felt like, it's like if you see a ghost and you go and you tell a friend, look, I saw this ghost, and they're looking at you like, oh, okay. They'll listen to you, but unless they saw the ghost, they're probably not going to be on board with you. So what happens, right? You got this story, this encounter that happened to you, collective. You end up not talking about it. You end up pretending maybe it didn't even happen. That's kind of a tragedy, because maybe that was just a really important encounter for you. That's kind of the vibe I got from Spirit. Spirit also wanted me to tell you that, collective, it's like we're on a train right now, because a lot of the messages are still in that same storyline where there's been these victims of being lied to and being led down the wrong path and being taken advantage of and being stolen from and getting stuck in a situation that wasn't even in their control, and a lot of black magic stuff. And you might even, if you do cards, you might even get to the point where I'm like, God, it's the same story. When is this going to end? And Spirit's telling you, well, it's a train, and you're all on this train, and you're all reading cards, right? And you're looking around, and you're like, oh yeah, I got that same card. And you're all shuffling your cards, right? But it's the same theme. And then we got to looking around the train, and there's children on the train. And that's why we're still doing this, because it's a language that we need to make sure our children hear and understand. And it's a process. So the readings might be the same kind of in theme, or cycles closing, but people being stubborn, people not wanting to change. But there's something about it that we have to save the children on this train too. So we're moving, and they're trying to derail this train. They're going out of their way to derail this train. But there's something about the kids on this train that's really important to the next generation. Just so that they can remember our strength and the steps that we took during this whole process to keep our sanity, keeping those ghost stories maybe to ourselves for a while. It's kind of, that would be hard. I've been to London, I've been to Paris. I didn't enjoy not being able to speak the language. Can you ski the mountain with me? Doesn't help when you want food, when you need to pay your rent, right? But that's all I could say. So I'm in this little cafe. Will you ski the mountain with me? And they're looking at me like, oh, she's really pretty. Shut up. Just bring me my food. It is what it is. I'm going to read some cards for you. I hope you had an awesome Sunday. It's really hot here. It got hot really fast. Like, we're already in 90s, and it's only June. But we've been setting off fireworks, and it's so funny because the neighbors have these mortars. I don't know where they got them, but I don't even know if they're legal or not. But these are loud. It's like a sonic boom when they set these mortars off, and it's all like, yay, hooray, 4th of July. So we bought the little Walmart kit, with all the little fireworks. And we were making our own noise last night, collective. So I hope that you get the chance to make your own noise, make your own celebration, because you can make noise too. You can be loud too. In a loving way. Yeah, we're on this train. We're on this train with these kids, and we got to keep doing the readings. We got to keep reading the cards. We got to keep doing. And it's the same stubbornness of this generation of people that didn't do it right. I don't know, it's like the 70s. In the 70s, we had this big awakening of this age of Aquarius is coming, blah, blah, blah. And then you had this gap, right, before Saturn went into Aquarius in 2022. But during that big gap, there just seemed to be a lot of bending of the rules. They knew how to bend the rules. They knew they weren't stupid, so they got away with it for like a really long time. Collective, I know you don't break the law. I know you don't. But there seems to be this just big fight as to how you think. I'm not really sure why that's a problem when we are free to think how we need to think, especially if you're being guided by things from the spirit world. So yeah, definitely don't ignore that. And those universal laws will never put you in a position where you're breaking the law because they're universal. They're just going to enlighten you how to live the law in a much more free way. All right. So we do have a new beginning. We're on this train. We're reading all these cards, all these readings, and there is a new beginning promised to us, collective. You've all done a tremendous amount of soul work, letting go of things. I think just letting go of the things that weren't good are the number one part of it. You're still working on your health. You might still be working on, your finances, things like that. But you make solid choices. You make solid choices. But there's confusion at the new beginning. So that's where Spirit led me to look around. There's confusion because it's not done yet, because there's some kids on this train. Okay, that's kind of what Spirit was getting at. Is like, because I was wondering, like, why hasn't this been resolved? Like, what's because it never really was about you specifically or me specifically. This was about the generation that's coming up. Okay, they're still looking at us. We're still their witness, okay? So how we behave during this, are you a true witness? And are you being loyal? And are you being truthful? And keeping course? And speaking many languages? Because kids speak a different language. You don't go to an ATM and put Canadian currency in it. If you're in America, you put American currency. So like with kids, like you got to dumb it down a little bit and say, well, this is why you have to be careful with people, because they might take your lunch money, and then what do? So that's where the confusion of the new beginning is because we have to recognize that we have to convey this message to many, many people that are coming up behind us, so this doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? And with the kids, these are prepubescent, but these are younger kids too. These are maybe 18, 20, when I say kids on this train. People that can be lured, and become slaves. And because we're just evolving out of that slavery, we don't want to just say, oh, thank you, Lord, I'm glad I'm not enslaved anymore, and then just let the kids fall into it. It's almost like we have to cement it, that this is how this happens. Do not do this. Do not listen, even though it sounds alluring. Don't go into slavery. In your subconscious is you have these gifts. Spirit's not going to leave you or forsake you. God is good, and good wins over evil. But it is a process, and they will break you. Any chance they get, any sign of weakness, they will break you or make it very, very hard for you to move forward. You don't have to worry about moving forward because you're on a train. Does that make sense? As long as you're meeting those minimum requirements for your living, and there's food and things like that, the train is gonna go. And the chances of it getting derailed at this point are slim and far between. In the forefront of your mind is the struggle. Like, oh my God, they're gonna derail this train. They are so pissed off. That they have all these intentions of, even if you do get your reward or whatever comes out in the media, that they'll make sure and tarnish it, what have you. We know that's not good karma. We know that's not good, right? I still find it interesting that people get up every day to plot and plan, and we get up every day to just, what can I send out as a good message, Spirit? I mean, that's like our intention. What's a good message for other people to hear and hope for and have courage for it? We're not plotting and planning. And that's the goal, is Spirit knows your heart, and Spirit knows your intention, and that's what's being honored, okay? That's why the train's not going to get derailed. This guy and his pinnacles, Okay, so I know for a fact that Libra is involved here. When I see this card, I love Libras because they're the only ones that really, really don't mind this. They don't mind this. They actually, they live for this. Libras, they live for this, okay? Because they are all about balance. So when they have two things, they love to bring it to balance. So even if it's a decision, like are we gonna go have Mexican food or are we gonna go have Oriental food, whatever, they love that because, okay, well, we had that last night and then, you know, this other place, you know, we may have to stand in line a long time. So, I mean, Libras love that. They love taking a situation and weighing out, like, what's the best thing? The pentagram is in the form of an amulet, okay? And I think I've read this before, but it's believed to protect against evil spirits. So as long as we're in the hands of a Libra with these two amulets, whatever is going on in the cosmic right now, maybe this is in court for somebody, you are good because it's protecting you from evil, okay? And you got this Libra, and they look pretty happy. They don't look like they're losing any energy doing this because they're really good at this, making it fair. Because there is some news about ready to come out. This is always a malicious card to me. I'm gonna look up swords in here. Anytime I see this guy, I'm like, oh, he looks kind of malicious. Because he's got this sword and he looks young. See, because it's young, it's a young person, right? So usually young people are gonna not filter, you know what I mean? Like when they communicate, maybe. So it comes out kind of harsh. Sword. Represent activity. So the swords represent activity, either destructive or constructive. They also represent the rigors of law and can mean the elimination of outworn forms. I love it. This person's going to tell you, hey, look what has expired. Something has expired, collective, in your life. And they're going to tell you about it. Something's expired. Throw the milk out. Check the dates on your food. Throw it out. Something's expired. It's not good for you anymore. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to check that stuff because we don't want it in the house anymore. It's expired. We thought we did a lot of this. It's an ongoing process, right? Checking the dates on things, making sure, look, we can't drink this. It could harm us. So we're moving toward, oh my gosh, another young person. What's wrong with these karmics that they can't get out of, like, thinking like a teenager? But see, we're on this train trying to help the teenagers. Page of Cups. I'm going to read Cups. You know this is water, right? This is a young person. It's associated with the concept of water. The cup is a symbol of knowledge and preservation. It also means love, pleasure, and enjoyment. You deserve enjoyment, collective. You've sent this message out for many, many moons. This is the same message. Hey, release the slaves. Stop this abuse of power. Many, many moons we've had these readings. And where is the justice? Well, this person's wanting to bring you some pleasure, wanting to tell you, look, something has expired. That's good. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. This is how people see you. Oh, they're closing the loop. Yeah, we're closing the loop. This is actually a really cool card. I love this book. This is like Tarot Revealed. This is the name of this book, Tarot Revealed. But the World card, well, first of all, the wreath. See the wreath on this card? The wreath represents forces of nature, the kingdom of growing things. She has a banner on. Okay? That's an important one too, to look at that symbol. Because the banner, oh, there we go, there's the globe. Okay. Betokes freedom from material bonds. So this banner that she has around her, freedom from material bonds. Okay, which is good, because all of this that we've done is for spiritual enlightenment. We've had to let go of a lot of the material. We've had to live in the fire, the air, the water elements, because a lot of the material things that we thought were important, we can actually live without. We just had to be challenged enough to do it.
Wow, my candles.
So it's freedom from material bonds, action, and vibration, lower vibration. So she's letting go, like she's barely clothed, of things that bring her to a low vibration. She's holding 2 fire wands. She's wanting to be in a higher vibration by closing this loop, okay?
So we have child here. Alright, so that is
Yeah.
so weird. So we have
So the
child.
globe,
For some reason here,
the world,
all of the cards
symbol of
are
dominion.
right?
By letting go of those material
So we got
things,
full
you've
labor.
inherited
Something
universal
is
power.
not going to end.
That's
Somebody-
what you've done. That's what you've done just by letting go of, like, okay, I can live without. I can live without. Guess what? Spirit just gave you power. Just gave you dominion because you've proven what you can live without. That's not easy. That's not easy. Because we all know we need gas in the car, we need food in the fridge. But guess what? There were things you could let go of. And some of them were pretty kick-ass. Some of them you needed to let go of. So in your wishes and hopes position is this King of Cups. Very loving position. I'm going to qualify it, see if it's male or female. I can't really tell by picking it up here. Yeah, see, she's talking about children right now. That's why we're still in this train. It's because they haven't got the message yet. And although it felt so personal, some of these attacks, it really was just about the people watching us go through the attack. They wanted to see what we were going to do. Well, what do you want me to do? I got to make a living, right? I got to do it the right way. We're going to do it through spirit. All right, so the first one is, this person represents your legacy. This person represents your family money. They're showing patience, or you're showing patience. This could be you too. You're showing patience with family money right now because if there's a fight over it.
So it's weird.
Maybe you had to let go of family, so maybe you don't see where the struggle is because you could, like, you're indifferent to it. But somebody's struggling with that because maybe they've been put in a position where we don't really care if you're indifferent or not. It has to be balanced. Because maybe there wasn't balance before. All right, and the last card is you, of course, keeping your vibration high because she has already closed the cycle. She is wearing the banner that says, look, I can let go of material things. I'm going to be in a higher vibration. I'm carrying fire with me. I'm doing whatever it takes to stay in this higher vibration. The reason why I love this card is that eternity symbol, because you can take it away and it's still there. So collective, if they remove you, guess what? There's still a train full of people that have the like mind of you. So you can take one out, but you can't stop the train. So let's just be really wise about who we're plotting and planning against, because you can take one out, but you can't. It's going to replace itself.
So this thing has been dedicated to
I love Sundays.
sort of ending
You have an awesome night. Go light some fireworks.
dedication here.